Team Green and Team Black both lost a dragon in this episode. Which team had the better week?
Does Rhaenys' death prove the old adage, never go to war angry?
Who had the busier fortnight? Alicent, from queen to booty-knocking MILF to tea-sipping dowager? Or Aegon, from prince to king to ash?
All that and more on this week's episode of
The Joffrey Podcast.
I've been very busy. Many important matters require king's attention. I'm king now. King now. I am king. I am kiss it. Kiss it again when I return. Your fingers or your king doesn't discuss battle plans with stupid girls. Your fingers or your tongue. I am the king. I'm telling mother.
My name's Bubba, and with me as always is somebody who's really hot-headed or hot-bodied or just plain hot. It's Catfish. Catfish, how you doing?
Bubba, that is the nicest thing you've ever said to me, either on or off air. Bubba, I am very, very excited to talk about this week's episode of House of the Dragon.
Guys, we're going to be breaking down House of the Dragon Season 2, Episode 4. If you have not seen this episode, skedaddle, go watch it, then come back and join us because we're going to be talking all things House of the Dragon, Game of Thrones, A Song of Ice and Fire. We're going to be playing our classic. And this week, I think we're going to redeem ourselves with some classic match games. We're going to talk about all the characters, debate the ethics, morals, and choose a side. Team Green or Team Black. But before we do any of that, we got to get to our ratings. Catfish, what is your rating for Season 2, Episode 4 of House of the Dragon?
Bubba, I am giving this 10 out of 10 triple A's.
Wait, triple A's?
Yes, that, as we all well know, is Alicent antagonizing Aegon.
Oh, man.
Not many mothers give their son the old shut up and look pretty speech, but she does it tonight, and that causes trouble.
Yes.
Bubba,
yeah.
We had dragons. This was amazing. The only thing that I want to say before we get into the rest of it is I don't like your synopsis nor HBO synopsis for tonight's episode, so I came up with my own.
Oh, great. Let's hear it.
Alicent and Kristen Cole both use Plan B to forward their goals, while Daemon dreams of getting anyone to fight for him. Aemon misses out on a 2-for-1 sale at Barbecues Galore, but still leaves the store happy.
Oh, man. Catfish, dare I say this? And I've never said this before. That was clever from you. God, 10 out of 10, Catfish. You can't, believe it or not, you can't go higher. That's incredible. You loved it.
I loved it. I mean, this is what we want. We got dragon on dragon. We got twists. We got machinations. We got chess pieces coming off the board. We're not talking about pawns. We're talking about kings.
Bye-bye chess pieces. Holy smokes. I would give 10 out of 10 to the end battle. It was great. It lived up to the hype. If you read the books, this was the thrilling moment from the book. I'm not even sure you call it a novel, the book Fire and Blood that you wanted to see. However, for whatever reason, even though this episode had some wonderful ice cold disses, I'm only going 9 double S's out of 10 for this episode.
Double S's?
Siblings slaughtering. So we might have had some sibling slaughter. No spoilers for next week, but Aemond, just last week you were talking about, boy, they were kind of treating him pretty tough at the brothel. Will Aemond have any internal bitterness about this? Oh boy, bitter brothers. That's a double B for you. So wonderful ice cold disses. A million things I liked. Some things that I guess I like, but I'm a bit like Daemon myself. I'm like, what is going on? What's the point of this? Or, I guess we got to keep Daemon busy so he can't join this battle. And so he's going to go off to some dreamland. Maybe not my favorite, but 9 out of 10. I'm still over the mood about this episode. Incredible. These, and House of the Dragon hits them. Sometimes it's very hit or miss, I think, in my opinion. But when it hits it, it gives you that Game of Thrones feel that you love.
It's incredible. There was lots of funny bits in this.
Oh, yes.
We had what was it? Sally River? That's what I want to say.
Alice Rivers, yes.
Sure. Okay. Listen, I got the last name right. I mean, after all the stuff he's been dealing with, she's like in Daemon's mind.
Oh, yes.
She is tripping him out. This is good. I loved Daemon being unsettled this episode, and yet still he somehow managed to deliver one of my favorite lines of the episode.
Ooh, well, we'll talk about that in a bit. Listeners, we love to say, who cares what we think? We want to know what you think.
Yes.
We suspect you're as high on this episode as we are. Reach out to us on social media at Double PHQ. That's the word double, the single letter P for podcast, HQ for headquarters. At Double PHQ on Twitter, Instagram, Threads, Facebook, YouTube. We want to hear from you. We want you to be part of this discussion with us. If you're listening on audio podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Podomatic, please, we need some iTunes reviews. We need some Spotify reviews and stars. Please subscribe and join along. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'm going to give you guys a challenge. Now, we have some YouTube videos that have less viewership than this, but we're getting more comments and more likes on those videos. So if you're watching this on YouTube, please do us a favor. Hit that like button. Give us a comment. We're begging for them. And heck, subscribe. We will do anything to engage with you. You can hear we're over the moon right now about this series, and we're your online friends, and we want you to join with us.
Bubba,
yeah.
Just as an announcement, for those of you who do comment, who repost, and comment anywhere, we are going to be giving away this fabulous prize. It's it's a T-shirt of your favorite dysfunctional family.
The Starks.
The Starks. It's a very, very cute photo, a picture of them. They all look very happy, and none of them traumatized or headless.
Yet. Yeah, this is a pre-Game of Thrones shirt of the Starks that we're going to be giving away. All you have to do is, join us, retweet, give us a comment, give us a like. We love it. Catfish, we are going to do a little bit of news right now before we get into this episode, which is so wonderful. And it's about our namesake. We named our podcast the Joffrey Podcast after His Grace, King Joffrey. And the actor who portrayed King Joffrey so incredible for all those years. He's done other work besides Game of Thrones. He was obviously in Batman Begins. He was in the final season of Sex Education on Netflix. Well, he's going to be on another Netflix show. Jack Gleeson, the actor who portrayed King Joffrey, is going to be in season 2 of The Sandman. And there, he's going to be scaring the unstraighteners straight in hell. What do you think about this, Catfish?
This is not right at all, Bubba. I'm sure we all remember that Jack Gleeson said after he portrayed Joffrey, he didn't say it, but we all knew, he said he was retiring from acting because why?
Why wouldn't you?
You've reached the pinnacle of your career. Just like when I was impound lot night watchman in Fast and Furious, I was like, I can't do any better than this. No. Why keep acting? Well, for money. That's why I keep
okay. Cash.
So probably the same thing for Jack. All right. So that's great. We'll watch him. But Bubba, we got to get to this. And by get to this, I mean, we have got to get right to match game number 1. For those of you maybe who are listening, who don't know, we post on Twitter. We post everywhere. Twitter, Instagram, Threads, a YouTube community page. So we do every week, we do 3 match game questions, and we ask our listeners to provide content. After all, we're working for free. I need you to work for free as well.
Work with us here. All right, Catfish, you ready for match game number 1?
I'm ready, Bubba.
All righty. King Aegon was eager for war, yet after the battle, King Aegon said the war was blank. King Aegon was eager for war, yet after the battle, King Aegon said the war was blank.
A hot mess.
Oh, very, very good, Catfish.
Thank you. I had to look at that. I thought during the music. All right, I'm very proud. All right, so Bubba, now we're going to do yours.
Okay, here we go.
King Aegon was eager for war.
Yep.
How eager was he? Yet after the battle, King Aegon said the war was
lit.
Yes.
Oh, so close, but we didn't match. But guess what? We got a lot of answers right now on social media, and we're going to try to get to them all. To be honest, they're coming in fast and furious. Catfish, are you ready for this one?
I'm ready. I'll start. Dooley's left legs, a valued and consistent contributor to the match game.
Without question.
Said, yet after the battle, King Aegon said the war was more suitable for one-eyed siblings.
Pretty good. Okay. Afterwards, King Aegon said the war was good for absolutely nothing. Say it again. Hell, that's from @Batman23. Heck yeah, I 100% agree. Very
Say
good.
it again. Good God. All right. And Nick Fortuna @Nicholas Fortuna says, after the battle, King Aegon said the war was hot and uncomfortable. 1 out of 10 would not recommend.
Oh, that's a tough review. Here's a great Twitter follow @NightWolfMim on Twitter. It's Nicole. She said, after the war, King Aegon said the war was too hot for him to handle. But he said it in bad High Valyrian.
Oh,
that is
damn.
pretty good.
You would have thought.
Look at this. Look
Tell
at
me,
this,
Bubba.
Catfish. Right underneath this, we have a match. Another great Twitter follow, a true Double L loyal listener, @HamletIsDead on Twitter, said after the war, he said the war is too hot to handle.
That is it. Look, with apologies to all others, this is my favorite response, at least so far. Jack opposite BT Mac 11 says, after the battle, King Aegon said the war was not medium well.
It was well done. He said it was well done. So good @BT Mac 11 on Twitter. And we also have this one from @MLF_ on Twitter. ML. He says, war is his brother's grasp on the throne. Ouch.
Oh, damn.
Oh my goodness.
Damn.
Listeners, I have a feeling that we're going to keep getting answers, and I'm saying we keep getting them. So you keep sending them. We want to hear from you. What did King Aegon say about the war after it was over? We had a match from Nicole and Hamlet is Dead. We're already off to a great start about this great episode.
Bubba, this is what you get for participating in a double B.
Double B.
Or maybe it's a triple B. It's a brother badgering.
Brother brothel badgering. Yeah, it did not turn out good. But what did turn out good was this incredible episode. What we like to do after the first match game is we like to talk about our favorite scene of the episode. Catfish, you haven't read Fire and Blood. You didn't know what was going to happen. This is a lot of great things to choose from. What are you going to choose as the best favorite scene of the episode?
I'm going to have to, this was an amazing 10 out of 10 episode.
Yep.
The only way I can describe my favorite scene is by using a double, and that is, of course, Double D.
Double D?
Yeah, dragons, duh.
Oh, my goodness. So you're saying that pretty much the battle was great. So because you're not a book reader, Catfish, I'm going to kind of talk us through this.
Okay.
So the battle, it's daylight. We've heard constantly, hey, the troops have been moving in the darkness, so a dragon doesn't see him in the woods. Gawain Hightower, Alicent's brother, he's like, Cole, what are you doing? It's broad daylight. Cole's classic, they'll never suspect it. Did you think Kristen Cole had a plan, or were you with Gawain Hightower at this point? What did you think?
You know, I'm slow on these things.
And not just these things, but yeah.
Got it. But I believe the only reason why I knew that Cole had a plan was, I believe the way the episode was structured was, we saw Aemon before he said that.
Well, we definitely knew that Cole and Aemond were talking. Like, this was totally their plan. This was their plan. This is what they were going to do. I'm saying I'm so dim that the only reason why I wasn't worried he didn't have a plan is I'm 90% sure they spoiled that Aemond was there before he said he had a plan. Otherwise, I would have been worried. Okay, well, Rhaenys comes up. She lights up the marching green soldiers.
Hell yes.
And then what did you think about King Aegon's Triple D?
Triple D?
Drunk dragon driving. I mean, he is driving to the battlefield drunk. What did you think when they saw the king? The king who was not supposed to be there, who was supposed to be doing nothing.
I mean, Kristen Cole After he gets questioned on his plan, and he's like, no, seriously, I got a good plan. I'm not going to tell you about it, even though it's about 10 seconds away from occurring. I don't want you to ruin the surprise. And then, Kristen Cole, they should have just had the actor do this. Ay, ay,
ay. Once again, this is the favorite scene. Let's go through all of it. For me, because I read the books, they don't necessarily describe it this way in the books, but when Aemond is on the ground, he's on Vhagar, and you see they sent up the signals. They're blowing the horn. Obviously, this is a signal for Aemond on Vhagar to come in and wreck shop. But when he sees his brother and then says, Vhagar, let's hang out for a bit. That to me was like, oh no, what is he doing? I know he has a lot of problems with his brother. He has always struggled with his brother. They had a great fight in the small council earlier in this episode. But to not go at that point, I was like, dude, that's not smart. Whoa.
Bubba, I don't know. You say it's not smart, but I didn't get the impression that there was any love lost between these guys.
No.
And, at the first chance, he's like, well, this is convenient.
Once you saw Vhagar in the battle, how worried were you for Princess? Let's keep the titles correct. Princess Rhaenys. How worried were you for her? Because Vhagar ain't playing, man. Vhagar is not playing. When Vhagar wants something, Vhagar gets something. And when they, you kind of see everybody's dragon size, and then you see their dragon against Vhagar, and you're like, this is nuts. Are you crazy? Whoa.
Now, let's kind of go back to last year. 3 years ago, whatever, when the first season was going on.
Yeah.
Remind me again how Aemon got Vhagar?
Well, Daemon's second wife, who he dreamed of in this episode, she, lost a child in childbirth, was so torn up about it, she told her dragon to Dracarys her. So this dragon was, no longer had a rider. They went to her funeral at Driftmark. Right. It was they went to her funeral at Driftmark. The daughters thought, oh, one of us will claim my mom's dragon, this giant beast, Vhagar. Aemond, who at this time was a bullied kid, who you really didn't realize how tough he would turn out to be, he goes out after the funeral and claims the dragon for himself. It's a great, wonderful moment for him. You think, oh, this is like Harry Potter riding the hippogriff in that episode. And then, of course, that leads to the fight. Hey, you took my mom's dragon that lost his eye. Where did this war begin? I mean, this is incredible. Vhagar is the best.
So, Bubba, when you say took the dragon, there still has to be, the dragon has to acknowledge, yes, you're consent. Someone I want to work with. So we know that Vhagar is, if he's going to choose Aemond, he doesn't have good intentions. It's funny, Bubba. I've just picked up this series. I don't know if it's a
House of the Dragon. You don't remember it too well. You're asking me to describe it. Okay.
The first book is called Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros, and it is yes, okay. I do have to admit it is a little romantic. There are times where I've skipped over like 4 pages because I'm like, I don't need to hear descriptions of these kind of things. It is a little romantic, but also what happens is there is a choosing where the dragon and the person choose each other, and they could end up killing each other. So that's it. Romancy. That really hits me hard, Bubba.
Well, okay, listen.
I'm now desire Vhagar to take me out.
Listen, we are talking about the battle and, of course, Fourth Wing, but we're talking about the battle because it's also my favorite scene in the episode. This was incredible. Once again, I knew how it was going to end. I knew R.I.P. Rhaenys. That was not a good way to go. Oh, my goodness. But one of my favorite moments that, once again, this kind of history book can't really explain too well is these soldiers, they must realize that they're just kind of pointless. And they do realize they're pointless. They're attacking the castle. They're trying to bring up their battering rams. They're firing arrows at each other. And then at a certain point, they're just like, let's watch the fireworks show that's going on up top. It was incredible. That was one of my favorite moments in an incredible battle that I loved.
mean, we talked, you said it last week, Rhaenyra was like, once you bring these, I think it was Rhaenyra, it was like, once you bring these WMDs to the field, there's no going back.
Oh, so good. Did you have another favorite moment in the battle you want to talk about? Because just brilliant, just great.
I mean, so thrilling. As part of the capsulation I did of the episode, the description,
Yeah.
I was surprised that Vhagar didn't get the two for one special there. I mean, we had Rhaenys come back. I tell you, there was it was a look from Rhaenys to her dragon, and they're both just like, yeah, let's go in for a suicide run because we got nothing left.
Okay, listen, I got to do one more match game because these answers are still coming in as we're recording. You ready for this one?
Let's have it.
King Aegon was eager for war. Yet after the battle, King Aegon said the war was a blast. That's from Holly Hunt Pants. So good. At Hunt Pants on Twitter. Guys, keep them coming. We love it, love it, love it. Let's just be honest. This battle was great. This is where all the money was. This is why sometimes when we were tough, we were both very tough on the episode last week. It's almost like you understand that there are chess pieces that need to be moved. This did need to be set up. And so it makes last week's episode, which I think I only gave 7 out of 10, it makes it even better. So good, so good.
Just delicious, Bubba.
Catfish, I added a news section in this because, once again, I love your thoughts sometimes because you haven't read the books. So I called this Questions for Catfish. You ready?
Oh, double C.
Yes. Double.
Catfish questions.
Catfish question. That's exactly right. So if you haven't read it, you don't know. Let me ask you this. Otto Hightower got the axe. He lost his job in episode 2. He's been gone for 2 episodes. He was kind of sent away. When and how, or does Otto Hightower re-enter this story? And if so, what is your guess? How do you think that could go?
Well, I mean, we do know that there is going to be a new king. And when there is a new king, they have a right to choose the new hand of the king.
He's like, I'll be 3 for 3.
But honestly, it seems to me that Aemon and Sir Criston Cole are working well together. I'm not sure why he would change out Criston Cole.
Criston Cole did possibly lose his king. You know, we aren't sure based on what's up next if King Aegon died or survived. I mean, he looked terrible. He looked really bad. But if you're a hand of the king and you plan a battle and it ends up with the king's death, how could Criston Cole keep his job? So maybe Otto Hightower comes back that way.
Whoa. What do you like? Everyone told Aemon to stay away from the battle.
Mean
Aegon, sorry. Yes, everyone told Aegon to stay away from the battle. That was not part of the plan. He effed up the plan. And so therefore it's good riddance, and it was still a good plan. It was a good plan. You know, keep Sir Criston Cole as your battle master.
All right, here's another question for you. Game of Thrones, the original series, original books, was famous for betrayals. And this is a spoiler if somehow you're listening to this podcast and didn't watch Game of Thrones. People would betray each other. Like allies, like the Bolton and Freys would betray an ally, like the Starks, and it would cause all sorts of mischief. Do you have any guess of who's on the board might be an ally that would switch sides and betray the people they're currently aligned with? Like anybody you think the Blacks might, flip sides? Like Corlys suddenly flip sides because his wife died? Or do you think any of the Greens allies might flip sides? Any guesses of who might be the house that could betray?
Well, I could see it's possible that Corlys and Son Okay, so I suppose he could. I believe now that Rhaenyra has pacified everybody on her council.
They wanted to go to war.
They wanted to go to war. They got in the war. So I think I think she's good with her council. It would be very, very tough.
Oh yeah.
If she lost Corlys. If she loses
the oceans and seas,
she does not have, at least as far as we can tell, air superiority. So sort of even there, right? So she definitely needs the ocean superiority to squeeze King's Landing.
So, but do you have any guess who would betray of all these people? And I know some of them on these councils seem nameless,
Yeah, what about Fidget Spinner Strong?
You mean Simon Strong? Fidget Spinner. You got to do something. He's trying to help Daemon, I guess. Who knows? Great question. All right, final question.
Yeah.
Because of the way this episode ended, we in this season, we're on episode 4. Aegon's young son Jaehaerys, he gone. The Argyle twins, they gone. Rhaenys, she gone. King Aegon, maybe gone. If you had to guess, if you were writing this story, who do you think is the next to RIP and go?
Oh, that is a good question. It's hard because there are so many of these characters we think that are so important. You know what I would say? Yep. When I say important, they're important for the story to keep us interested. Like, we have gotten such delicious drippings from Larys. We don't want to lose Larys.
No.
I mean, again, you lose some people on the council. Rhaenys was sort of important, but it wasn't like someone that we're going to miss seeing the development of her character. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
How about now? I know he's carrying a lot of the plot points, but what about? And this carries back to question number 1. What about if we lose Sir CC?
Oh man, his horse. He got knocked off his horse by Vhagar plummeting. Boy.
I'm just saying he was moving forward a lot of the story previously, but I don't know why you keep trying to tease that Aegon is still alive. Like that, you should say spoiler alert, because
you don't know. You don't know. Once again, watch that next on Game of Thrones. We don't know. So
I don't have enough time. We've got to come and do this podcast right afterwards. All right. So listen, I'm going to say he's gone, and therefore with someone stronger, Aemon kind of, twirling his mustache and doing all kinds of stuff, he can kind of take charge, and we could lose Sir CC.
Okay.
All you have to do is, it's easy to lose. You just get a little cocktail from the Grand Maester. You hand it to him, and boom, he gone.
Oh, we love you, Kristen Cole. Hey, let's get to match game question number 2. You ready?
Oh, let's do it, Bubba.
Okay.
All right, here we go. I'll read it to you, even though that would give me no time to answer myself. Rhaenys Targaryen was called the Queen Who Never Was, but after the battle, she'd be known as the Queen Who...
Okay, so I like these. They're not especially funny. Maybe they're clever in their own way. So Rhaenys was called the Queen Who Never Was, but after the battle, she'll be known as the Queen Who Never Was. Okay, maybe not hilarious enough, but I like the fact that her title still works. Are you ready, Catfish?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Rhaenys Targaryen was called the Queen Who Never Was, but after the battle, she'll be known as the Queen Who...
Ain't no mo.
Catfish, you're so good on certain things. I'm worried that that she'll be known as the Queen Who... She gone.
She gone. That's what I should say. The Queen Who gone. All right,
all righty.
Yeah, let's go and let's see what we've got here. You read the first couple while I get settled in here.
Okay. Oh boy, this is so close. And these are all so sad. Rhaenys was a great character, but always Dooley's left legs is always so good. She'll be now known as the Queen Who Will Never Be. Oh, that's from Dooley's left legs.
Damn. All right. Our good old buddy Nick Fortuna at Nicholas Fortuna says she'll be known as the Queen Who Plummets.
Oh, Patman23, Patman Snaggle. She'll be known as the Queen Who Should Have Ducked.
Damn. You know what? I gotta disagree with Patman. I don't think ducking would have helped in this case.
Might help.
Kelly Underfoot at Kelly Underfoot says she should be known as the Queen Who Should Have Been. And
heartbreak.
The broken heart emoji.
Well, thank you, Kelly. Kelly, a great Twitter follow as well, at Kelly Underfoot on Twitter. Nicole Nightwolf Nim is coming back. The Queen Who Doesn't Know Dracarys? She'd tell her dragon to attack. I'm not sure she ever did say Dracarys. Very good, Nicole.
All right, Bubba, I'm going to save my favorite one for you.
Okay.
At MFL replied, she'll be known as the queen who owned the greatest courage on Team Black.
Oh, man, she's getting a lot of respect in these answers. That's very good, ML.
Okay,
right,
let's see. Does she get respect in this last one? I'm going to read it out as my favorite.
Yeah.
Rhaenys Targaryen was called the queen who never was, but after the battle, she'll be known as the queen who...
couldn't fly. That's from Mark Studebaker at Studeba on Twitter.
So
These are
good.
That is pretty good. That
So
is
good.
very,
I love
very good. You guys, why do we even do a podcast? We should just tweet this out and let you guys, we need to find a way to have people join us in these. Maybe we'll start doing YouTube live so people can read their own answers. These are just brilliant. Oh my goodness. All right, Catfish, the battle's great, but there was a lot of great stuff in this episode, even without the battle. Do you want to focus now on Team Green or Team Black? What do you want to talk through?
Let's start with Team Green. Why not?
Alrighty, so it begins with Queen Alicent, or Dowager Queen Alicent, excuse me. She's been playing one of the dragon pieces from King Viserys's playset, and she breaks it. Very symbolic of a dragon being broken. The Maester comes in. Alicent has some morning after moon tea, and she's implying very poorly that it's for a girl in court. Do you think the Grand Maester fell for that one, Catfish, or did he do a terrible job acting like he fell for that? Because not good.
Bubba, he was suspicious the second he walked in the door, and he never stopped being suspicious on the way out. He's like, well, if anyone else has any problems, just let me know.
Of course. And you got to play this politically smart, buddy. Alicent doesn't seem like Cersei. But if a Grand Maester even kind of did that job in front of Cersei, guess what he'd be? He'd be a former Grand Maester. Alicent is also asking him, she's looking in history books later with Larys, she's trying to find out about this, the Song of Ice and Fire prophecy. She asks the Grand Maester, hey, did my ex-husband, King Viserys, did he ever mention anything about his eldest son, Aegon, succeeding him? Grand Maester handles this about as well as he handled, this moon tea is for somebody else, and pretty much says, if he didn't talk to me. Gotta go.
It is a little repetitive, right? Because we talked about at the end of her scene last week with Rhaenyra, she's like pretty much like, well, that's all water under the bridge. No stopping the war now.
That's moon tea under the bridge there.
That's right. So she just comes to the same conclusion. Well, I'll just keep that under my cap.
All right. We cut to the Team Green war effort. We find out House Darkland has been slaughtered. Criston Cole calling out, hey, you join us. You got to fight the whore of Dragonstone. Boy, not very cool. And the guy about to lose his head, he's like, is there no honor left in this world, Cole? The Kingmaker. You're not fit for your white cloak. And the white cloak will fit this guy pretty easily because he's about to lose his head.
Bubba, that was good, but there was a stretch of dialogue that we have to reenact because it was so amazing.
Sure.
All right, I need you here to go against Rhaenyra.
My queen? I would never desert her.
All right, step up for the beheading.
I never trusted that stone cold. I never trusted that Stone Cold Bee. Oh, man. Larys, once again, Larys is in the small council meeting. He's got his new job. But kind of the first thing in his new job is to say, that castle that theoretically is mine in my name. Turns out that Daemon Targaryen, your evil uncle, has it, King. And he's spinning. This is political spin. This is the spin zone. He's like, Harrenhal, that castle's more crippled than I am.
Bubba, is that spin?
It might be true.
I believe if you walked in there and you looked around, there could only be one response you would have, Bubba, and that is, what a dump.
This is the scene. This scene is so good where Aemond, who theoretically still doesn't have an official position on the small council, he is there and he is talking some serious smack in High Valyrian, so only his brother knows how bad it is. I mean, this is some, oh, hell yes, ice cold disses in High Valyrian. In fact, somebody reach out to our boy who we talked to at the premiere who creates all these languages to tell us what ice cold dis is in High Valyrian. We need to know. What did you think when you saw the brothers, pretty much Aemon just saying, bro, shut up. I got this war. I mean,
well, you know what? The funny thing is, we saw that that Aegon was trying to be a good king to the people, but we know that he hasn't been doing much around here. Now, that isn't to say that I'm not shocked.
Yeah.
What happens later on? Can we just say that the High Towers, you need to have a little bit more of a softer touch with those in power.
Oh boy. Yeah. Alicent later on with the king, not so good. Now, Alicent has her scene with Larys. You are team Larys of anybody, it feels like so far, Catfish. Mm-hmm. Larys, you do not leave a moon tea jug on your table when Larys is coming in. I mean, you just don't do it. He knows everything. He's asking her about, oh boy, Criston Cole's winning, praise everywhere he goes. Isn't that cool? Don't you like that? Doesn't that make you happy? I actually think she does an okay job considering she must know Larys knows of not giving him an inch, but.
I mean, considering how he just oozes throughout the whole scene. You just want to step further and further away because the puddle of pus that he oozes is creeping closer and closer to you. My boy Double L. Lecherous Larys. Oh, man, I love him. He is just so. I mean, Bubba, the creepiest thing about this scene is not any of that. It's that I'm waiting for him to make a request for her to show her feet again. It's so disturbing. The anticipation of it made my spine tingle, not in a good way.
But you know how Hitchcock had that thing about, you show a gun or you show a bomb underneath the table, then everybody, spends the whole scene real tense because they're like, oh, what if the bomb goes off? Literally, it's like you show a pair of feet in the opening scene of the episode. And then you're like, when will Larys come in? Alicent, once again, she talks about her dead husband. The significance of Viserys's intentions died with him. Larys, yes, it did.
Bubba, and now I have to give props to you only because you keep reminding me of this, but for some reason, it's still not hitting me as hard. She literally says, so that the showrunners can say, hey, by the way, remember this show you haven't seen in 2 years?
Yep.
The end of that season was less than 2 weeks from the present moment. She says, only weeks ago, my husband is alive. I mean, it's incomprehensible. Bubba, I feel like they shouldn't just don't remind us of that. Let's just pretend it's been a while. Let us figure out the time elapsed because this is too much for 2 weeks, Bubba.
Right. When she says all that, Larys should go, Queen Alicent's like, what a fortnight it's been. Larys should look at her and go, Alicent, it's only Wednesday.
Your husband died yesterday at 3 p.m.
Okay, so Aegon, he's not doing well in these council meetings. He's literally telling his team, you guys bore me. Nobody's listening to him. He meets with his mother. His mother is talking trash. Specifically, it all gets up to this. Do what is needed of you. Nothing. In the end, he certainly would have been better doing nothing. Did King Aegon's motivation to fly his dragon and go to battle, did that make sense to you?
It did. I mean, in a certain way, it just follows along with his whole, the way he started this thing. He was like, I have an idea of what it means to be king, and I'm going to try to fulfill it. I mean, considering everything he's been through, he's actually kind of a well-adjusted young man, considering, right? And so he's trying to be a king. He's like, I need to lead it. There's a couple things, right? There's one is, this is what you need to do to be a king. The other thing is, look, I'm not just like an appendix here. I'm vital to the cause. I need to participate. And again, the whole Hightower line, they need not just a class, but like an entire 6-week course in conflict resolution. Okay. Because
6-week course. Who's going to be alive in 6 weeks? In 2 weeks, everybody's dead.
Good point, Bubba. That is a good point. Okay. Continue on.
Well, I would just say for Team Green, the final thing I want to talk about, and everybody knows our good buddy at Double M Matt Murdock has his Before the Dragon podcast where he talks about the music and the score. Game of Thrones actually did this a good bit, especially in the battle at Hardhome. But when the score almost becomes a ticking clock, and it almost has this tick, 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 tick kind of feel to it. And we see Aegon getting sick of everything. He's drinking. He's going to his dragon. He's flying over the city. And it was a great moment to, really ratchet up and tell you, okay, it is about to go down. It is about to go down. Well, let's look at Team Black. And I guess we are going to have to talk about the guy who is stuck literally and almost metaphorically in his own head, and that's Daemon and these possible dragon dreams. The episode begins, I'm pretty
Double
sure.
D's.
Yeah, he's in his walking in the King's Landing throne room. He sees another vision, of young Rhaenyra. She's speaking High Valyrian, and he cuts off her head because she says, "Hey, your brother loved me, his daughter, more than you." I mean, whoa. Ooh.
I'm just going to leave a pause in here, Bubba, so you can cut this out.
Sure.
Here's what happens in this scene. She says, "Is this what you've always wanted?" Head.
That was a member-only comment that Catfish had, that if you join our membership at $20 a month and promise not to sue, we'll let you listen to all of Catfish's jokes. Now, Catfish, he wakes up from this dream. His hands are bloody. Are they actually bloody? Is that part of the vision he's having?
I don't know. It's definitely metaphorical.
Yes. Now, he's got this raven, so he's getting information, even though he's trapped seemingly in the middle of nowhere, certainly where there's no fighting. And he finds out Criston Cole's on the march. Nobody's coming to his call. Like he says, "Hey, call all the bannermen here." The leader, now what's so interesting is they always talk about Westeros, the 7 kingdoms, and the Riverlands was never technically a kingdom. It was always kind of conquered by multiple people, including Harren, who got roasted in Harrenhal. And so he's like, "I want to talk to the leader of the Riverlands," which is House Tully. And House Tully sends little Oscar, and Daemon ain't having any of this. Daemon's being Daemon. He's like, "Hey, kill Grandpa so you can get the inheritance." And he's just frustrated and nothing's going for him. Any thoughts? I almost say let's do all of this Daemon stuff now. Later, he does talk to one of the Blackwoods, but he can't focus in a meeting, man. What's going on?
Well, I mean, you say that, but the damn Blackwoods, they don't care. They don't care about what's going on with the kingdom.
They don't. They
care about
don't.
their damn neighbors.
That's what they care about. That's exactly right.
He's having these crazy ass dreams. He can't get even these dim-witted morons who are presumably loyal to him to join his cause. He's stuck in this crud hole. I mean, it's really just bad times. Not a brothel to be found. I mean, there might be an open air one somewhere. And by open air, I mean in the actual castle.
I'm saying, on the Zillow listing, I'm saying Harrenhal has slight water damage. Could use a new roof. Shovel ready. I mean, it's not good. It's not good. Now, it turns out this Wilhelm Blackwood, he might be the kid who in season 1 did ask for Rhaenyra's hand and then killed somebody, actually a Bracken there, while trying to woo Rhaenyra way back when. But Daemon is just not good. Now, is he not good because this castle is really haunted? That's the tale we were told. Harren, before it even burned down and became haunted, Harren was cutting down weirwood trees that were here because he wanted to build it. Or is he having visions because this woman, this Alice Rivers, is drugging him? He's in this meeting. He's having visions of his second dead wife, not the first one that he killed. I mean, what is the point? He's like, everybody talks about Harrenhal being so important. Right now, Harrenhal doesn't look important at all. What do you think for Prince Daemon, Catfish?
I mean, I think that's a good call that Alice Rivers is messing with him. I mean, she does. This actress was on Glow on Netflix.
She was. You remember who she played on Glow?
Yes, I do remember who she played. And she was a little bit eerie, but fun in that show. But she is completely eerie here. Oh, my God. I mean, he's just like, he's trying to talk smack to her, and she's basically just like, whiff. She's like evading his, and then the counter punch him like right in the nose. He's like, ah! I mean, she has got the better of him. He has got to get out of here. But like you say, Bubba, is he being mired here for some reason?
Quagmire. The U.S. knows a lot about a quagmire during a war. Let's go back to Dragonstone and figure out the rest of Team Black.
Okay.
And they're kind of in a mess because Rhaenyra went to King's Landing to talk to Alicent. She's got to travel back. And while she's traveling back, like the whole team's upset. Before we even get to Dragonstone, at Driftmark, where Corlys in the Valerian's house is, Rhaenys walks up, sees Alan, and she looks at Alan and says, "Your mother must have been very beautiful." Then Corlys comes up, and did you get the subtext of what was going on here with Alan and Corlys, Catfish? It was possibly
absolutely
not subtle.
I mean, I did. It was at first. It was weird because it's like, is she coming on to this dude? But then it's very clear that this is her husband's bastard, and that's why. And so that what's delicious about that is that you think back to like 45 seconds earlier and what delicious of a zing that was. Your mother must have been beautiful. And it's like, oh, you Corlys. But Alan is Corlys bastard. That means that Alan is what I like to call double-E'd.
Double-E'd?
Yeah, extremely effed. He is double cursed. He is going down, Bubba.
Not too good. That's true.
Now here's the question.
Okay.
Is Alan Alice's brother? Is that his half brother or his full brother? That's
you mean
question.
Adam? Yeah, Adam and
sure, okay.
Alan. Yes. Okay. No, we got to find that out. Maybe Corlys is like, listen, these were long ship voyages. Not excusing it, just saying.
I mean, yeah, sure. It's a long voyage, but he looks outside the captain peephole before every time, looking up in the skies. Any dragon sign? No. Okay, quick.
Well, now let's get to Dragonstone.
Okay.
Rhaenyra's council, without her, it's a mess. With her, we're going to later see it's still a mess. These men are arguing. They're telling Baela, hey, you saw Criston Cole? Light him up. And then, there's one guy, I'm pretty sure his name was Gorman. He's talking about Daemon at Harrenhal. He's like, he'll have more disentangling ahead of him than the head of a Lysini orgy. And you're like, hey-o, he should play the match game. The Blacks, we find out Team Black doesn't even really have an army. Like, they're so disorganized. Now, apparently it has only been 2 weeks. I don't blame them, but they don't have an army that can march. And now,
I mean, you see why Daemon can't get anyone to join the cause.
And how about this? Somebody asked in the episode, and I got to be honest, I don't know. I can't remember. Any idea who the hand of the queen is at this time? Like, who is Rhaenyra's hand? Otto Hightower's out of a job, maybe.
Well, now that would be a great betrayal. Where would Otto Hightower show up? He'll show up there so they can see if he can yell at anyone for being incompetent on this side. Bubba, that's a great question. And obviously, if you don't know the answer, I as well do not know the answer.
All righty. Well, Rhaenyra is going to show up at a certain point. She shows up, one of her Kingsguard went with her to King's Landing. He gets back. He finds out, oh, wait a minute. My house fell to Criston Cole. My dad's dead. And everybody's like, yeah, we got more important things. Jace has got to yell at his mom. Ouch. What did you think of Jace? Once again, I've been tough on the character of Jace because he hasn't had kind of a hook to him. Like, what's his hook? I think what we've seen, and we began seeing it in earlier episodes this season, his hook is, they killed my brother. I want to do something. Mom, let me go do something. We gotta strike back. That seems to be Jace's kind of MO. What do you think about this?
Well, it's funny because it's hard to sort of, you can sort of place this in our time period, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the War of the Roses, and then we go back before that. But basically, this is where Don Corleone gets the idea. You know, we never disagree with each other in front of other people.
Oh,
keep
yes,
it in the family.
Exactly, 100%. Yeah. It's one thing to talk back to your queen. Yes, she is your mom, but to talk back to her, but then to talk back to her so forcefully in front of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. I mean, he says it flat out. We need to send a dragon when they hear about this attack on Rook's Rest, even though everybody's like, it's not important. It's so small. You know, who cares? What the Kristen Cole and his team, the Team Green, thought, well, she's not going to have a place to land an army. If we control the whole coastline, if she could get an army on one of Corlys's ships, you know, to the coast, there's nowhere to land because we have all this land. I mean, maybe that kind of makes sense, but it's
here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, by the end, this is the plan to sort of draw a dragon and have Vhagar take it down, whichever one happened to show up.
Oh,
but
yeah.
it's also a smart move because, as we've seen, whoever talks trash about Harrenhal is underselling how bad it is at Harrenhal. You know,
Not good.
You'd be like, I'm the king of Harrenhal. Yes, you are the king of Jack Mother Flippin' Squat.
Rhaenyra does tell her son, who is her heir, about the secret prophecy about a Song of Ice and Fire. And yet she says she realized what she's done. She says the horrors that I've unleashed cannot be just for a title alone. Rhaenyra is going to get the word that she sent her son out, or one of her sons out with a dragon. He and the dragon died. She sent Rhaenys out with a dragon. Rhaenys and the dragon are dead. Is Rhaenyra, you know, like, this is 0 for 2. Big 0 for 2s. These are big L's she's taking. How could you send anybody out on a dragon again? Are you going to send one of your sons like Jace on a dragon after this? Why would you? I mean,
after that back talk, I certainly would. Bubba, this just proves an adage that I heard one time that is remarkably true. You can go a day without anything. You can go 24 hours without eating, drinking, sleeping. But I dare you to try to go 24 hours without at least one good rationalization, Bubba. Oh. She is completely rationalizing what she is doing. And Bubba, it makes sense though, right? If you are saying, you know, it's my job to protect the world 1,000 years from now, and who cares if I burn it all down in the next week and a half to do so.
It's easy to protect when it's all burnt down. You can see all your enemies. Yeah. There's nobody can hide in the trees.
Yeah. The White Walkers will come and be like, nothing to see here.
White Walkers will be like, nobody's alive here. Who are we going to be back from the dead?
What a bucket of crap.
All right. With that said, let's go ahead and do our third match game question, Catfish.
Okay.
Are you ready?
All right. I'll try. Go ahead.
Okay. So, match game 3. Daemon Targaryen wanted a tea to help him sleep. Instead, Alice Rivers gave him a mug of blank. Wow. Wow. All right, Catfish, are you ready? Daemon Targaryen wanted a tea to help him sleep. Instead, Alice Rivers gave him a mug of blank.
Draft beer with lots of head.
Oh my God! What's so close? What's so close is Catfish. This is a joke that only makes me laugh. But my answer might kind of be a match. All right, so let's hear it.
All right, Daemon Targaryen wanted a tea to help him sleep. Instead, Alice Rivers gave him a mug of
Milwaukee's Beast. Oh man, I'm glad that YouTube viewers can see how bad Catfish is laugh/groaning at this Milwaukee's Beast.
It's like
for all our
it's
international
a laugh
listeners.
that turned into a sharp pain.
For all our international listeners, or maybe our young listeners who don't have to do this kind of stuff, when you were a young person who wanted to drink maybe the cheapest beer possible when you're a kid, Milwaukee's Beast was pretty high. Milwaukee's Best, was pretty high on that list. And it tasted in a way that instead of calling it Milwaukee's Beast, we called it Milwaukee's Best. We called it Milwaukee's Beast. I can't even say that correct name. Mm-hmm. Oh, boy. Okay. So hopefully people appreciate that. Everybody in our demographic of, hey, let's just get something good.
All right, Bubba, let's see. And it won't be a high bar to clear. Let's hear what our listeners had to say. All right, I will read the question.
All righty.
Daemon Targaryen wanted a tea to help him sleep. Instead, Alice Rivers gave him a mug of...
Triple M.
Triple M?
Meaty menstrual mead.
Oh, God.
Did the maester? Bubba. He's like, I made some extra from Alicent. Let's send it to Daemon and Aaron.
Bubba, hold on, yeah. Bubba. I want you to ring the bell.
Okay. That was from Dooley's Left Leg.
Ring the bell, because if anybody has ever drunk Milwaukee's Best, that's exactly what it would taste like. Meaty menstrual meat.
Oh my God. Okay, this one's pretty clever. Daemon Targaryen wanted tea to help him sleep. Instead, Alice River gave him a mug of wine and spirits. Get it? He's having dreams. That's from @Nicholas Fortuna with the and spirits. I love it. So good.
All right, here we go. Alice Rivers gave Daemon a mug of Triple W.
Triple W?
Wacky Weirwood Whip. It's
you
like an orange
Disneyland.
Whip, but with the root of a weirwood in it. Oh, that is Albert Godleski @A Godless Key.
Oh, Albert. He's a classic double L. Another classic double L who we talked about before, Kelly Underfoot, reached back into Game of Thrones and actually the still unreleased A Dance with Dragons to give us this. She said Alice Rivers gave him some Jojen paste, the good she. That technically wasn't on the show, but if you've read the books, Jojen Pace's brilliant answer. Oh my goodness. There's some more terrible/great answers. I'll give this one. She gave him a mug full of nightmares. That's from @Matt's Test Lab, Link Hogthrob. But do you see Jack Klompus's answer, Catfish? We've got to save it for last. Maybe.
Once again, we're gonna save it for last. That's my boy. We're on the same wavelength. Only he's
okay. So ML, who's @MFL __ on Twitter, he said Alice Rivers gave him a mug of brewed therapy. But okay, read @BTBack11, Jack Klompus, the Match Game Hall of Fame champion with so many others like Dooley. But let's hear it.
All right, here we go. Daemon Targaryen wanted a tea to help him sleep. Instead, Alice Rivers gave him a mug of Lysa Arryn's breast milk.
Throwback to Game of Thrones. Robin Arryn is jealous.
And not just that, a throw-up back. BT Mac 11, you're my hero.
Listeners, you can always, throughout the week, if you haven't had the chance to answer. Please join us on these Sunday night Twitter, Instagram threads, comments. This is just some pure insanity that we get from you guys. And we get them on YouTube after the fact when we post the podcast. So these answers are always brilliant. Okay, it is time to get serious, Catfish. I want to burn through our small council debate. All right, everyone put your ball in the dish. It's time for the small council. Question 1. Team Green and Team Black both lost a dragon this week in the episode. Which team had the better week? Wonderful question, Catfish. They both lost a dragon. Mm-hmm. They both may have lost an important member of the team. Who had the worst week?
Well, I'll say who had the better week. I'll try to be positive.
Okay.
Well, maybe let me ask you a series of questions, see if I can lead you on the primrose path to my answer.
Sure. Better
All
week.
Right.
Yeah.
Which side lost a powerful dragon with an experienced and smart leader?
You know I'm Team Green. Why are you so mean to me? Okay,
No.
I'd say that's Princess Rhaenys, who is an experienced dragon rider and a good, smart mind. Okay.
And which team lost a puny dragon and a feckless, impotent king?
Hey, now, Team Green.
All right, so Team Green had the better week. In fact, Team Green, as far as I'm concerned, that's a clean sweep, Bubba.
Oh,
it's
man.
not 1-1. It's 2-0.
That is terrible. Terrible. What is also terrible is I agree. Team Green had the better week. It is in some ways, though, an odd thing, because if we go back to episode 2, if the evil Eric, or the good Eric, depending on which team you're on, had killed Rhaenyra, I really do think that would have, Team Black, what would they be fighting for at that point, other than revenge, which is, of course, is a good, is a common reason. But they were fighting to put Rhaenyra on the throne. If she's dead, there's no fight to get her on the throne, right? Maybe it's like, okay, now it's Jace's throne, and it dilutes the purpose of the war. Right. Team Green, admittedly, is fighting because Viserys decided at the last minute, though he didn't, he decided to put his son Aegon on the throne. Aegon, once again, I until I see a funeral, I think there is a chance Aegon, I don't know. I want to see what the show does. But I guess Aegon doesn't even really have an heir. I guess his daughter could be an heir. Maybe it does automatically go to Aemond. I don't know. I don't know. I agree. Right? Team Green is better because they won. They won. Like, that's the big thing. They got Rook's Rest. The Team Black doesn't have a frigging marching army. They don't have a castle anywhere on the shore. Their closest castle, you got to fly past over a lot of green land to get to Harrenhal. Team Green won the week.
Listen, there are only a few people who actually believe that Aegon was not named by his father to be the king.
That's true. That is true.
Okay. And also, so basically, everybody else, even if you don't like the word, you are a usurper.
Yeah.
Unless word is spread, no, that was a mistake. That's not flying. Right. The other thing is, and it's and I forget already who said it in this episode. Maybe it was probably when Larys was talking to Alicent. Like, listen, no matter what Viserys said, people are not cool with a queen. They're cool with a king, queen, So Rhaenyra's got a lot working against her.
Oh yeah,
she's the one who's trying to push the stone up the hill. Yep. And right now, Aemond has just unzipped his trousers and is peeing on that stone.
Listeners, I haven't mentioned it in a while. We've been talking about the match game. Give your feedback. We want your feedback on these. Sometimes I want to say more serious, but after what Catfish just said, maybe just as unserious comment. Who do you think is in the better position now after these first 4 episodes? At PHQ, Twitter, Instagram, Threads, Facebook, YouTube. Let us know. Question 2 on the small council debate. Does Rhaenys' death prove the old adage, never go to war angry? Now, this is written very silly, but if you think about it, her kind of last interactions with her husband were about, meeting this bastard son of his. And then he's like, oh, did you come down here to kind of give me grief about it? Yes, they do kind of have a moment there in the war council, but it's not like honey, you go get him, you destroy it. So her death, how is Corlys going to react? Corlys, since he got mixed up in this quest for the crown, he's lost his son. He doesn't know that his son is still alive, but he thinks his son is dead. He knows his daughter is dead.
He thinks his son was killed by the people he's in league with. Yes.
Right. He had his daughter marry Daemon. She, if he believes the story, and we know it's true, she killed herself with her dragon. Now he's lost his heir, who was Luke from season 1 at the end of season 1, and now he just lost his wife. What is Corlys doing? Like, is he going to be beat up because the last interaction he had with his wife was about him cheating on her and creating this bastard? Is he going to be? Where is he going to be? And what do you think Rhaenys' legacy will be? Catfish,
Well,
what do you
that's
think?
kind of what I want to focus on.
Okay.
Listeners may have already turned this off when I said it was okay to lose
Yeah.
Rhaenys because we have other characters that are sort of developing, and it felt like she was kind of. Let me say this: she was important enough to the story that her loss is huge.
Yes.
But it was a good character to have it hit us, but also not shrink the story down that much. But she was a really good character. I would have liked to have spent some more time with her. Maybe if I did, she wouldn't have felt as dispensable as she did tonight. But a really good, just well acted and interesting character for sure.
100%. She was always the person in Rhaenyra's ear kind of talking about, hey, moderation, don't unleash the dragons. As you pointed out last week at the Eric and Eric funeral, she's like, oh, Rhaenyra, remember when you did this terrible thing? Remember how you kind of did the same thing you're attacking Team Green for? And if you don't have that voice anymore, everybody else on Rhaenyra's war council is go, 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 war, 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 kill, kill, kill. The only other person who was a bit moderate, like Rhaenyra herself, is now dead. That's not going to go too well.
Well, that's funny that you bring that up. So maybe she should not have gone to war angry, because if she wasn't angry, she wouldn't have gone to war at all, because she was the one counseling against it.
Yes. Okay, listeners, once again, what do you think? How is Rhaenys going to, what is her memory going to be? What is the death going to, how it's going to affect everybody else, her husband, her council, her grandchildren who did love her, both Baela and Rhaenyra were huge fan of their grandmother.
Oh, who had the busier fortnight? Alicent, who went from queen to booty-knocking MILF to tea-sipping queen dowager? Or Aegon, who went from prince to king to ash? Bubba?
You always want to live your life like a shooting star. And maybe not so literal as prince turned king turned fireball. Aegon. So I'm going to say, for really having a crazy, we're even forgetting that his son was murdered in this craziness in this 2-week period. I'm going to say Aegon had a busier fortnight. How about you? What says you?
Bubba, as loath as I am to do so, I will agree with you. As one of our loyal listeners repeats a sort of inside joke, who will catch the falling star? And that was Aegon.
Yeah.
A lot of us don't achieve our dreams before we die, Bubba, but also a lot of us don't achieve our dreams and then almost immediately die.
Okay, Catfish. It doesn't matter who's winning the war. It's about what we like as TV viewers. Which team are you on this week? Team Green or Team Black?
Okay, Bubba. I know this goes against what I said, but I just want to recap here. Black Team Dragon, it gone.
Yep.
Green Team Dragon, it gone. Bubba, this is the first time I'm calling it a tie.
I will go with my team that I think won by losing less, Team Green, for my team of the week.
Also, addition by subtraction.
Yes. MVP of the week, Catfish. Who was the greatest character that you enjoyed the most after episode 4?
Bubba, he was kind of a double G this week.
Double G?
Gloomy Gus. But Daemon comes back when he's talking to that young guy. He's like, look, I need your help. And he's like, my father's still alive and he's sick. And he's like, put a feather pillow over his head and speed up your inheritance. And the kid looks at him. And this kid has not been in the halls of power. He's like,
no.
What?
Grandpa?
He's like, is there a hidden camera? All right, Bubba, who was your MVP of the week?
He really, was only a bit in the episode, but my MVP of the week is Aemond. And I would almost call him the winner of the week, Catfish, in that he has the biggest dragon. Who can take him down? Who can take him down? Who can take Vhagar down? And if you can't take Vhagar down, you can't take down Aemond. I think Aemond's the winner, so he's my MVP of the week.
Bubba, I would say this.
Yeah.
Will you say who can take Aemon down?
Yeah.
Somebody slightly behind him and to the left.
One-eyed joke. Terrible listeners, this is the type of
You set me up.
This is the type of humor that you don't tune in for, and we apologize for it. All right, listeners, we've asked for your feedback so much. Why? Because we love talking about it. Let's get to feedback from the last week. So this is generally about episode 3 and the things we discussed in episode 3, but let's get to it. Catfish.
All right, Bubba. We had some feedback from CNM.
Yeah.
That's a double C.
Yeah.
They said, love Fabian's performance of Kristen Cole. Compared to the other actors, he has a one-dimensional character and the writing limits his range, but the man is carrying that character on his shoulders and his work with the material he's given and performed.
Whoa.
He makes us love him at first, and after episode 4, pure hate, and sadly, the mentally ill fans are projecting hatred of a character onto the actor is insane. I hope the sane fans show him some love. Listen.
Yeah.
CNM, I completely agree with you, but I will not have you bad-mouthing the listeners of our podcast.
Right, if they listen or are still bad behaving.
Fans.
Yes. Yeah, we care.
No, I'm just saying that is our cohort, Bubba.
Sure thing.
Yep.
All righty. On YouTube, somebody with the user handle Matt said, it's episode 3. It's episodes like episode 3, like this, that I need this podcast, the Joffrey podcast, to better understand just what the heck transpired. Oh, thank you so much, Matt. Now, on last week's podcast, we kept asking you listeners, hey, who'd be a worse hand to the king than Kristen Cole? And Matt responded, Yeoman Johnson, the red shirt, would be a terrible hand with the king. He also said Sir Eric, also terrible for hand with the king. I believe he may mean after he dies, but either way, yes, Sir Eric, not so good for hand of the king. Thank you, Matt.
All right, and Tails Yuki. The entirety of Tails Yuki comment is talking about how happy we are that we read the comment from last week. OMG, y'all read my comment online. I'm so honored. I hope I get a good comment again in the future someday. And look, Tails, there it is. All you have to do is say thank you, and we will read your thank you.
All right, thoughts on episode 3. Our good loyal listener Camille at Harley Camille on Twitter gave episode 3 7 out of 10 double Fs.
Double Fs.
She said it was a fine filler episode. Once again, it was moving the pieces, but the pieces got us to this great episode.
She was kinder and more correct than us. Our good buddy and master of the match game. That's Double M, Match Game Master. Dooley's left leg said, it wasn't a great episode until the end. I love parts of it. Daemon's flashbacks, Laris plotting, etc. Overall, I'd give it 7 double R's.
Wait, double R's?
Rhaenys realizations. The pod itself had me belly laughing yet again. Hand in his briefs.
We'll never live that match game answer down. Our good buddy. And let me say, A Song of Ice and Fire, Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon expert, who you should follow, Pat Spaneagle, who's at Patman23 on Twitter, and a bunch of social media apps, said, I think both you podcast hosts were too hard on episode 3, but I have to respect your opinions. I appreciate Bubba's controversial and brave stance that Sir Kristen Cole had a rare moment of competency when he 100% saved the highborn Hightower lads from being war crimed by Balin. Thank you, Batman. The truth is out there.
All right, Aisha Hama says, well, now that the war started, it would be very difficult to stop it. I mean, Alicent can't just tell her son to step down and let the woman who he thinks killed his son to be queen.
Yep.
Or after the houses have shown their sides. But I do hope that they stop it because now Alicent knows that she made a mistake. If you were hoping that they would stop this war, you are watching the wrong damn show.
Well, hold on. She's just saying, hey, I think Aisha's comments were 100% correct.
I agree too.
But now after episode 4, I mean, forget it. And our final comment, even though we have some match games we want to review, our final comment was from Movie Lover Fan 18, who said, Alicent thinking her husband, King Viserys, wanted or didn't want Aegon makes no difference to the war. Otto had already stacked the small council with Aegon supporters and had plotted for what happened the moment Viserys died. The only reason Lord Beesbury was still there on the small council is because Otto thought he was a doddering old fool and would just go along with the plan. They hid Viserys' death until after they coronated King Aegon. Would Alicent have sent word to Rhaenyra? I don't think so. she would have listened to her father, Otto. If Otto had cared about the realm, he would have pushed for the Great Council to decide it, just like the Great Council we saw in the very beginning of season 1, episode 1, that put Viserys on the throne. Movie Lover Fan 18 wrote, the Bracken and Blackwoods would have fought either way, but it wouldn't have been as big as it was because there was no king.
Now, this is fascinating, Bubba. I love this feedback,
Yeah.
even though I wonder if I disagree with it, only in this way. And I could be completely wrong. This was my interpretation. We saw all the plotting that Otto Hightower did to move. I mean, basically dangled his young daughter in front of the king.
Yes.
All this stuff. But for some reason, and I might be crazy, Bubba, you might say I'm insane.
I'd love saying that.
I was thinking that Otto would not have gone to great lengths. Like, I think if Viserys hadn't said this to Alicent, I don't think Otto would have pushed that far. Do you? Do you? I mean, I can see someone who would say that, but for some strange reason, I still have respect for Otto's integrity, especially since he used it to like talk himself out of a job. What do you think?
I need to talk myself out of a job. That's what I think. Hey, we have some match game answers from last week, so we want to give them some shout outs. So, okay, the question last week was, King Aegon may allow the Kingsguard to break their vow of chastity, but he's now not allowing them to blank anymore.
Camille Hartley says, guard the children.
Say that again. Well, 100%.
Were they guarding the children in the first place?
Right. You're not allowed to do what you're not doing right now.
All right, and our boy BT Mac 11 Jack Klompa said, although King Aegon may allow the Kingsguard to break their vow of chastity, he's not allowing them to play hide and seek with Aemon's food anymore.
100%. Movie Lover Fan 18 had some match game answers. He said, who wouldn't live in Hare Hall? Even Reek wouldn't live there. Great answer there. And then he said Kristen Cole didn't want Alicent's favor. He wanted her copy of Westerosi Ladies' Home Journal with articles on what accessories to set off your new hairstyle and how to remove those pesky stains from a white cloak. Oh, my goodness gracious. And then Aegon doesn't allow his Kingsguard to make up funny nicknames for him anymore. Well, the Magnanimous, Aegon the Magnanimous, it's going to be Aegon the Shining Star.
Yeah. You know what? I prefer something more simple like Aegon the Crispy.
Crispy Cole. All right. Hey, we got to wrap up. That's the Joffrey podcast for this week. For everybody here at Double PHQ, my name's Bubba. If you want to yell at me specifically, you can yell at me on social media at Fit and Trim. That's FITTENTRIM at Fit and Trim on social media apps.
And I will celebrate finishing my first podcast in a run of 3 podcasts by telling you my social media contact is GEETOTHEMAN. You can hit me up on Instagram and Blue Sky. And we will talk to you next week on the Joffrey of Podcasts. Crispy Wonton edition.
Terrible. Stop that immediately.